Welcome into the Off-Brand Sports Podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be doing a couple of deep dives on the Milwaukee Bucks and the Dallas Stars, and we're going to talk a little bit about our bet segment, which will be fun this week. Before that, any sports news stories you guys wanted to touch on? Marshall, you start.
Never mind.
I mean, dude,
Karim,
sports is coming back. Karim, go ahead. If you have something that's jumping out of your mind, let's get it on.
Freewoj.
Woj.
What happened to Woj?
Bro,
What
he's
the hell
suspended.
happened to Woj?
Whoa, from what?
Why did he get suspended? How did I miss that?
I didn't
Dude,
hear about that
I
either.
think it was a senator from, it was like Mississippi, what like a southern state.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Uh-huh.
reached out to some. Essentially, what
ESPN?
happened is that senator reached out to someone and was like, "Yo, you guys need to have like military appreciation, all this stuff, like right when all the protests were going on," and Woj just responds, "Fuck you," to this senator. Puts his signature and sends it. And then the senator brings it back up, and then ESPN suspended him like 20 minutes later.
Wow. See, I didn't see this. This is crazy, though. Well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Senator Josh Hawley out of Missouri, it looks like. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that either.
I feel like he won't be suspended that long.
Well,
If
right
they
now,
sus-
it
if
says
they
he's
kick him-
suspended without pay.
If they kick him, there's no way, like Bleacher Report, one of these companies are just gonna pay money out the wazoo for this man.
Fox,
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Fox
It's
Sports
literally
is
a
coming
meme
right
per
after.
Woj.
Right.
Like, what the heck are you doing? Like, Woj, like, isn't he like the number one analyst, like sports
In the
Exactly.
NBA.
in
Dude,
the
he's
NBA
the
sports
most-
breaker?
He's the most trusted. Like, how he always, everyone has the Woj bomb, bro. How does he get all that? All the GMs, everyone trusts him.
Yeah.
He's been around forever.
Yeah. And I feel like that's not that bad. Like, it's a little
No.
bit disrespectful, but like
It's disrespectful,
honestly, there was
but,
there were a lot more things going on at that time that I'm like, okay, if that's the guy that needs to be punished, really?
I mean, you talk to Holly. I'm sure he's gonna talk about First Amendment rights. Just say,
Yeah,
he's a
exactly.
senator.
What the hell? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Why is he? He's just pulling the. Oh my god, it's crazy. Just
So
2
pretty
words
much.
gonna get you suspended without
Wow.
pay.
This is crazy. Every
Yeah.
time there's
I don't
a
think it'll
story, it gets political for like no reason. Like, come on, boys.
Yeah,
Right.
dude.
It wasn't. Who's the with Deshaun Jackson
Yeah,
a week
Yeah.
ago? Who Steve? What was his name?
Steven
the analyst?
Jackson.
Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
Did he get suspended without pay?
No,
Nope.
he said sorry. We used the wrong words though, which is interesting. He is not saying sorry
Yeah.
for what he said. He said we used the wrong words.
Right,
Sorry about
and then-
that.
I mean, who hasn't said "fuck you" one time?
Right.
I said it 3 times. Am I gonna do? Fuck.
We've said it multiple times on this pod.
Right.
Just because you're talking to a senator, I mean, that's so
Senators are still people. They're not like these deities that we need to worship.
exactly.
exactly.
I'm not gonna kiss
yes,
this dude's
it's
feet.
disrespectful, but like, all right, there was a lot of disrespect going on and justified disrespect going on at that time.
I mean, what Gary
It's like,
Streisky at Snapchat?
tensions were high.
What's his Do you guys watch SC on Snapchat?
No.
What's that?
no.
Sports Center on Snapchat.
Oh,
There's like the. Okay, anyway, this dude, Asian dude from Colorado, is always like, man, give me that shit. Every day, like, how is he not getting censored for that? But Woj just gets suspended because he just.
Because it's
I
high
feel-
profile, and this Josh guy. Wow, this is absolutely outrageous. He sent a letter. Like that's absolutely the opposite.
That's ultimate savage shit right there, though.
No,
Dude,
this is
Woj-
like
Woj
some
is a
cancel
real
culture
one, bro.
shit. Like what the
Woj-
hell?
Oh,
Woj is
wait,
the
I
real
thought
one.
Woj sent the letter back saying, fuck you.
Oh, he did.
No, he did.
In an
Okay,
email,
that's-
but yeah,
That's
I was talking about the
savage.
senator
That's some
being a little
savage
bitch.
shit right there.
Oh,
Woj
yeah,
is a real
definitely.
one for that.
Totally,
So
and
pretty
that's
much free
within his
Woj.
rights. And this guy just canceled him for no reason. Like, bro, this is what you're supposed to be
It
against.
wasn't even canceled, dude. It's just that he started like almost like blackmailing ESPN. Like, how can you have? Oh my god, I don't understand. I don't
So, yeah,
understand.
dude,
No, this is
Free
definitely a
Woj,
case
man.
of canceling. Yeah, free Woj.
Yeah.
Free Woj.
Free Woes. All
Dude,
right.
I love Woj, too.
Yeah, what
Dude,
the?
he's
It's
always,
crazy.
like, coming out with just some nice,
Some good stories.
Honestly,
Stories.
I think he'll be back fairly quickly. I don't think this is going to last.
I'm sure they're
This
not
is
going
not
to give up.
This is not the Jeremy Roenick situation, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the other thing Marshall had brought up was sports are really close to coming back now. We talked about it on our
Let's
Ask Pod.
go.
The NHL's plan is finalized. We're looking at games starting in August 1st and August 2nd. We got everyone's going to have their first games going. It's real exciting. Other sports are also like close behind. The MLB is getting ready to even before the NHL comes back. The MLB will be back. The NBA is going to be back right around the same time as the NHL. It's things are looking up, boys.
So yeah, we won't have to start like betting on
Yeah.
esports
Esports.
anymore.
Yeah, our bet
But
segment will
dude,
be a lot more interesting.
What's funny to
It's
me
gonna
is
be
like
interesting today.
something like NBA. They're in Orlando now, and a bunch of players are like, tweeting out their hotel rooms, saying that it's like a Motel 6, and then like their meals. It's like, dude, their meals, they have like a buffet in front of them of just like awesome stuff. It looks so good, and they're just complaining about it. And the hotel rooms look awesome, dude. It's like, bro, this is your job.
'cause they're all-
that you have to.
They're all used to living in mansions and shit.
Yeah, but dude, this is your job. NBA is doing what they can, and you're getting paid millions of dollars, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Go fucking do your job and play in Orlando, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
And you had the option
Quit-
to opt out, so stop whining about it if you
quit
didn't.
complaining, bro. Just go play your goddamn video games when you don't have to practice,
Yeah.
and just have some fun, bro. Be around the boys.
Exactly.
Play some basketball, dude. I wish every single day that I was in their position to just go like,
Fuck, if you give me the option to take a 5-month hockey trip with the boys right now,
Right.
I would accept in a heartbeat. I want to
Staying
take a
in, like-
5-month hockey trip anytime.
staying in high class hotels, all expenses paid, cleaners, and like, dude, just playing basketball,
Right.
practicing, hanging around the boys, and then going back to your hotel room, playing video games. Shut the fuck up, all you NBA players that are complaining. I'm very sorry for you that you're making $30 million a year and you have to spend. Dude, a lot of these players, like,
Marshall's heated
no,
about this.
it's just so dumb, dude. NBA players just complain
I
so
get it, I
much,
get it.
man.
Like, I get it. Like, I get you don't want to be away from your family, and that's fair, but, like...
Dude, your family
alright,
can come.
let's chill a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait, the family's allowed in the NBA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, then stop
Dude, 'cause
whining.
the Disney resorts are open.
You have it better. You have it better
Except
than
I don't
most
think
people.
that the
Not
families
Disney.
are able to like
Yeah, not.
go out. But still, you can like spend some time with your families. Like the families have to be quarantined, I think, for like 2 weeks or something. But like, dude, if it's like your main gripe that you can't be around your family, then just have them come and you can still be around them, although in like different situations, in like unprecedented situations. But still, dude, like if you told me today that like, oh yeah, this job is paying you $30 million a year, but you have to go play a fucking game for like 3 months. Not even 3 months, dude. A lot of these teams are going to be out within the first 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean,
Right.
I
And then they'll
understand
be
their
upset they're not
gripes
there.
is if you have such a lavish lifestyle and then you're kind of almost like forced to come into this bubble. I could understand like LeBron
Everyone's forcing
having
you
a
though, too, dude.
no. That's a good point.
Like,
I understand their gripes, but again, like I'm not very sympathetic because like obviously
I'm not sympathetic at all. Yeah, it's. I guess there is some sort of understanding, but the amount of sympathy that is pouring through my veins right now is probably about negative 50,000.
Right.
I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, you see the live stream with J.R. Smith, and he's just like reading off the menu. He's like, "Oh, filet mignon.
Yes.
Okay, New York strip. Okay." And you're just like, players are complaining about this. Like, I'm totally on your side, Mark.
That's like
Did you
my,
see the woman accommodations though?
One night a year, my best dinner.
No, I have not seen the women accommodations.
Oh my god, I don't know. I haven't kept up with it. I just saw some shit on Twitter where it was just like literally there was just like trash in the rooms that they were staying in. Looked
Oh.
really dingy.
What? No, they're
don't-
being propped up by the NBA. There's no way that they would allow that.
Like the reporters?
No, not the reporters. Like, there's a
Oh, the
women tournament going
WNBA?
on.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd have to do more research into that, but that seems unlikely
Yeah,
to me.
I need to look into that.
I'll look
We
into
could
it. I don't
probably
know
talk
if you guys
more
heard
about
about it. I just saw, obviously, you can't believe everything you see on the internet.
Right, just
Dude,
like
I
the
just saw
basic
this
sniff
in
test, that
Talk
smells
about
like
it a little
That's
bullshit.
true, that's
on,
crazy.
But I don't know.
There's
Thursday.
that
It's
much
kind
of
of
a...
like, like my ACHA
difference
room. We
between-
went to Utah one year, and we got put in this room, dude, that the
Hello.
beds were not even
I'm
constructed.
disconnected.
What?
Nice. You got to put them together yourself.
They just
We
have
went
the
in there,
instructions
there's mattresses
there.
on the walls. There's mattresses on the walls, and like the bed frames are on the
Hello?
walls. We go to the front desk,
Hello?
and like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, yo,
No, when I played in Montana, we stayed at like the cheapest hotel you could find. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Motel 6 was classy for us. Like we didn't get to go to those. We went to like side of the road motel drive-in kind of
yeah.
$5 a night kind of place. It was real brutal.
Oh, we lost Karim.
We lost Karim for a minute, but that's okay because it's a perfect time to get into
Oh.
our bet segment.
Hello.
Oh, he's back.
Hello.
All right, let's hop into our bet segment here. We've got some interesting things happen this week. So Zach and I, like we said, we got a really good bet on Usman to win his fight. He did. So we each made a $25 jump. So real big gains, which is great. But Zach, Marshall lost his bet. It came. It didn't come particularly close, to be honest. But he lost on his golfer. He had Ram
John
to win the
Rahm.
tournament. He did not. So Marshall took the L this week. I currently have the lead with $45.34. Marshall's at $13.10, and Zach is actually in second at $22.60. I'm riding a 2-win hot streak. Zach was also riding a 2-win hot streak, but getting into our bets for this week, Zach has already lost his. Zach, why don't you go ahead and tell us about
All
your
right,
bet for
boys.
this
So
week?
this week I went with a parlay. I got to be honest, I'm just barely figuring out how this betting thing works. So I was like, you know what? I'll try a parlay this time. So I bet on the live game when I decided to do the bet for Leicester, or is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Leicester
Leicester.
City.
Leicester City, and they were up 1-0, and 20 minutes
Yeah, it
later,
was basically a throw-in just to
Playing
make the
the
parlay odds a little
second
bit.
20
worse.
minutes
It was supposed to be a
later.
gimme.
Yeah.
they fucking are up. They're down 4-1. So here we are.
Yeah,
I
it was
lose
like
my bet
5
before we even get
goals, 4
going.
goals in 10 minutes.
Yeah. I had a very shitty sports betting day for my personal life. I'm not gonna go into details, but that game also set me behind, so I'm pretty mad about that as well. But
It
then
was
also
insanity. Like, we were
Justin
like-
Thomas, I'm coming for you. So,
Marshall bet on him too. It was a rough day.
Justin Thomas, you're up 2 with 2 holes to goal. You have 2 putts within 10 feet to win, and you can't close
Chokes
it
them
out.
both.
All right. Justin Choker, baby. Let's go.
Justin Choker. I like it.
So Marshall had a rough day, so he decided to go with a little bit of an out there bet this week. Tell us about it, Marshall.
So we're going to darts this week, boys. We're going to darts. This guy named Jared Cole. I don't remember the tournament that he's in, but he's minus
he's,
455 to win. And with my luck today, he's probably going to get absolutely smoked.
Yeah, the way Marshall's been going the past day or two.
But yeah,
the minus 455 is a
dude,
it's a
that's
safe bet. We hope. But
that's
we'll
not
see.
a safe bet in my eyes.
Yeah, the way things have been going.
Jared
I am
Cole.
not taking a safe bet at all. Jared Cole, good luck. I'm not at all taking a safe bet, but regular viewers of our Avalanche podcast, go ahead and subscribe to that one if you have not on YouTube or whatever. Check it out. But regular viewers will know exactly where I am doing this. I am betting on the draft lottery. I'm doing a futures bet. I'm taking the Montreal Canadiens to win the draft lottery at plus 1,000.
That's a hot one, and it's very
like that.
plausible. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Hey, we were talking about it. We talked a little. I'll drop an iCard on the segment that really explains this bet. But basically, we think, hey, there's a better likelihood than you would think that the Canadians get the first overall pick here. So I'm putting my money on that. Everyone else had a futures bet, and I felt left out. I'm the only one without a futures
I have
bet
like
ongoing
9.
at the moment. So now I have one.
Right. I'm trying not to
Yeah,
do
Marshall
futures
has-
bets.
Marshall has 2, and he keeps every week he's like, "Hey, let's
Dude,
do another
there's
features
nothing
bet."
to
And I'm like,
bet on right
Marshall,
now.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, and I'm like, Marshall, I'm not gonna have enough winnings left in the account to place these bets because they're all gonna be tied up in futures bets.
Yeah, bro, but I
yeah.
had to make a darts fucking bet this week.
Hey, what's wrong with a darts bet? There's nothing wrong with that. Just wait a week or so, and we'll be good. We'll have more hockey on. We'll have baseball on.
Right.
We'll have
I
everything.
feel more comfortable betting
But that's
on
where we
baseball.
stand. Ooh, baseball's gonna be weird for me.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
know. I don't know enough about baseball's definitely my weakest sport.
Someone's
I
gonna
won't
ball.
bet on it.
Can you bet on
Just-
people hitting balls, bro?
Probably. Or you could
Bet,
probably do
will
live
there be a
games.
hit in this game? Yes or no? You could probably bet on the current at bat live.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
what's gonna happen here? That'd be fun.
All right, so that's kind of where we stand in the betting segment. I mean, I'm feeling good because I took a pretty sizable lead after this week, but I definitely had some help with DraftKings giving out a really good odds boost. But we'll have to see how the rest of the year plays out. I'm hoping I can just ride the momentum. If I haven't explained it in this episode, but the winnings go to the charity of the winner's choice. We all started with $5, and we're basically playing with our winnings. So I mean, we're sitting at a little over $80 right now, which is real solid. But let's get ahead and do our deep dives for today. But before we do that, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Whether you're on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify, we're definitely looking to grow. And if you've watched this long, we can tell that you're enjoying at least a little bit, right? So hit that subscribe button, leave a like, drop a comment, anything that helps us grow this brand a little bit. But that's enough of our kind of spiel. Let's get into the deep dives. Let's start with the Bucks. The Bucks are. We've talked about some top heavy teams, but I don't think there's a more top heavy team than the Bucks. Maybe the best player in basketball right now. I think you could make that case with Giannis. What are your initial impressions, Marshall? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he is the best player in basketball right now. He's going to win back-to-back MVPs. I think anytime you have Giannis on, the Greek Freak on your roster, you have a very solid chance to win every single game. They have been the best regular season team in the NBA this season, going 53-12. I know at the beginning of the season when they were ripping 12 games off in a row, there were some talks about them pushing for that Golden State 73-9 record. I never really saw it, but still, dude, what a season they've had. They still have a lot to prove in the playoffs. They haven't proven anything the last couple of years. But I think if Giannis and Middleton could end up proving that they're worthy in the playoffs and actually make some clutch buckets, then this can be a very scary team to me. And I think there's a reason that they're the number one seed in the East and actually the number one team in basketball as far as regular season goes.
Yeah. What do you think, Zach?
So to me, the Bucks, and people have probably said this in the past, but I'm going to go ahead and try to trademark this right now, have the LeBron effect, meaning that they have one superstar in Giannis that can bring them to the championship. But the thing that I'm worried about with this team is they don't have that comparable Kyrie player to finish out plays for Giannis or for him to dish the ball off in the post.
Okay.
So
Do you think
go ahead,
you don't
Billy.
think that Middleton could be that player?
I mean, he's a great player. We've talked about it a little bit. He's not a superstar, which is what Kyrie Irving is for sure.
Yeah.
So,
But he's not quite there.
right.
He's not
But they
quite
do got a little bit of depth. Eric Bledsoe's okay. Kyle Korver's still draining threes, so we'll see what happens with them. They are my best team in the East for sure, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won the East for a reason.
Mhm.
Karim, what do you think of the Bucks?
I think, obviously I feel like they can definitely make a run just because you are slotted in the East. We have talked about how kind of anemic the East is when it comes to being able to put up some competition. So we've already talked about how Boston and Philadelphia almost and Toronto could give. Yeah, they could give Milwaukee a run for their money. But, if you put them in the West, those same teams, I don't think that you could make a run in the West with any of those teams. So I
Yeah.
think they are definitely benefiting from being in the East. I still think that they definitely have a decent team. I'm not like wowed. They do have pretty decent depth, but like everyone's been saying, like there's not that other player. Like Middleton definitely is a very good player that would start anywhere in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
I guess unless you slot him in LeBron's place or something like that. Obviously, he won't start there, but I'm sure he can find a starting spot anywhere. The main issue I'm having though is that the depth is not comparable to like a Denver or teams like that.
I feel like
so they're not as deep as they're not as deep as Denver, and they're not as stacked as like LA or something like that. So I'm very interested to see what ends up happening. I definitely could see them make the finals, but
they're definitely caught somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, they're in the middle.
I think that like to me, it's just it drops off real quick, and when it does, it drops off hard. Like I feel like you've got 3 players, and then maybe a 4th that are like pretty good, and then after that, it's like, are these like legitimate? Like, are these even? You've got a lot of guys that I don't know would make rosters in other markets. Like, you've got like 3 or 4 guys that on this roster that I'm like, would this guy even would he even be on the Nuggets roster, or would he be playing like just would he be cut? Would he be G League? Would he what's? They don't have much depth at all. It falls off real hard, real quick.
Yeah, if they want to make a run, they're gonna need a couple X factors, and to me that's Middleton and Korver. If those players can hit shots when they need to, they can make a run. Like Karim touched on this earlier. You take them out west, I don't think they're competing in LA at all. They can't. LA is going to destroy these guys. And then you take them to Denver, it's a little closer, but I still think Denver comes out on top. You take them to Houston, I think that's an interesting matchup there.
Yeah.
So taking them out west, it's interesting to me. I don't think that they're going to be.
I mean,
the
I
best
still
team.
think that they could definitely play. You just have Giannis that can literally just. He's just so athletic that he can just posterize whoever. He can shoot. He doesn't have a great jumper, but like he's not that
He's
bad.
not inept. Yeah.
Right. But the main issue I have with the team, like you got Ilyasova.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a bunch of okay players. You got Chris Middleton, which is a really good player, and you got Giannis, which is, like everyone's been saying, arguably the most exciting and the best player in the NBA. I just don't know how much this is just them being able to dominate the East.
Well, I think all the teams in the East have benefited greatly after LeBron left, because now it's like all these teams, Toronto for example last year, that couldn't get past like LeBron in Miami and Cleveland are now able to like make a push. And I think there was a reason that the West is so much stronger now than the East, is because all these players were fleeing West, and LeBron's like, yo, I'm coming West now too. So the West is
the West has always, like, even when LeBron was dominating the East.
Yeah.
Oh, are you saying that the East can get stronger now because LeBron isn't there to kind of detract from moving East?
I just think the teams that were like quote unquote contenders in the East and
that never were able to
get past like LeBron. I think
like
that
any Western team in Golden State for like 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sort of like that. But then I just feel like people are kind of like scared of LeBron's teams because, like, dude, he went to 9 straight NBA championships or something like that, something absolutely absurd, and that was all out East. So then all these players were like, dude, I'm done getting dominated by LeBron. There's like no chance, so I'm going out West. And then now, like, LeBron's like, hey guys, I'm coming to join you out West. Like.
That backfired real quick.
Yeah, so now the West is
clearly
so
stacked.
top heavy. Yeah.
And you've got some of the teams out west are a lot better than a couple of the teams in the East.
Well, if you just compare the 8th seed West and East,
yeah,
it's laughable.
Yeah.
There's a reason that like 12 West teams made it and only 9 East teams.
Yeah.
And then
and like the NHL is unbalanced, but like comparatively, the NBA is so much worse.
Yeah.
Right.
Another thing I'll say about just the NBA and like their star power is if you have a guy like Giannis on your team. I mean, we've even seen it like with LeBron in his old like Cleveland days before he went to Miami. There is so much to be said about a superstar's like impact on their team because like if you look at the NHL, Crosby needs, you know, a
He needs
bunch
pieces,
of surrounding
yeah.
players.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in the NFL, like Mahomes couldn't have done it with all these different other pieces, and even in the MLB, it's like if you have Arenado, you still need all these different pieces. But then in the NBA, if you have one like absolute megastar like Giannis is or LeBron, and then you have a couple of other like nice surrounding pieces like Middleton, Bledsoe, Lopez, and then hopefully Korver can come out the bench and drain some threes for you, then automatically you're a contender. It's like if you have that one guy in the NBA, then that is just so much better than the rest. That is a lot bigger of an impact than the top star players in all the other three major sports.
Other than arguably a quarterback, but I think that even then the most valuable player in sports is the best player in the NBA because if you've got that guy, you're likely headed to a championship.
Yeah.
I think like you could make the argument for like the best quarterback because quarterbacks are like super heavily weighted, but that's about it.
I don't know. I have not doubts about Giannis. I still think he's probably one of the best players in the NBA. I just think that stopping Giannis is way easier than stopping LeBron or stopping...
Well, yeah. I would agree. I mean, dude, Giannis hasn't really proved that much in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
He had a very mediocre
see.
playoffs last season, and that's the reason that the Bucks like imploded against, you know.
Right. See, because you have LeBron, you have someone that can shoot the three, someone that can shoot the mid-range, someone that can just body you. He can outplay you literally anywhere on the court against almost anybody.
Yeah.
You got Giannis.
is still just
if you
a
put
freak, though.
True, but you just put huge bodies in the middle, literally just like no offensive production, just sit there. Like you can. I don't know. You can shut down that center lane. I think a little bit better than you can against LeBron.
Probably a little bit better than LeBron. Yeah. I mean that's a reason that in my eyes LeBron is possibly the greatest basketball player of all time. I know people maybe get mad at me. He's definitely top two. Depending on how he finishes his career, I'd almost elevate him.
If he puts another
but
chip,
then, yeah. I mean, dude, if he wins a championship with LA and wins it like an MVP Finals or Finals MVP,
exactly.
That would be 3 different franchises that he's won an NBA championship with and a Finals MVP with.
Then he brought all of them from mediocrity, almost like sitting when he joins, not making the playoffs to fucking winning a championship a couple years later. Except
I think
other than that Cleveland team originally.
We're kind of getting on a tangent. We're supposed to be talking about Milwaukee, but then LeBron is just absolutely insane. No, it's also me.
He's a conversation detour, but yeah, let's get into our verdicts here. Karim, let's start with you. Contender or pretender for Milwaukee?
Me?
Yeah.
Sorry, you cut out.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, okay. I think they're definitely a contender, but I think they are pretending about how good they are. I think they're contending just on the fact that the East is poor.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would kind of agree with that. I think they're definitely a contender, but I think their regular season record is a bit of a pretender.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they're the best team in basketball like like their record shows. I think that's actually one of the LA teams, but out east they are definitely the best team out east. So I see them going through. Yeah.
All right, Zach, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to go contender just based on the fact that I think they're going to the finals. That's about it.
Right.
Yeah, that's enough. I mean, you're in the finals, you're contending.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I feel like we're all on the same page here. Like, this is a contender, maybe a slightly overrated one. They're not quite as good as some of the teams out west, but in the East, it's not as good, and they are the best team out east. So
this is my only team in the East that I'm calling calling a contender. I don't know about you guys, but this is the only team I did it for, at least this year.
Yeah, I called a couple others. I think I called the Raptors and the Celtics both contenders.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
too.
I think I still put Milwaukee as the favorite to win the East. But I called the other two contenders because I think that Milwaukee's not that great. So basically, you know what I mean? Like
It's gonna be
it's
interesting
a
to see what
debate.
shakes out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so let's move now into the NHL, and let's talk about the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars are weird.
They
Tyler
are
Seguin to
very
me
weird.
is the weirdest player in the NHL. 'Cause
And I would
I
say
just
that the
don't know
second weirdest
why.
player in the NHL is his line mate, Jamie Benn.
They're all weird. So, all right, to me, Tyler Seguin is a guy who looked like he was one of the 3 or 4 best scorers in the NHL before the scoring boom.
Yeah.
And then he hasn't gotten worse. Like, all his numbers have stayed the same, but, like, the rest of the league around him has elevated. And it's like the scoring boom affected the entire NHL except for Tyler Seguin for some reason. It's like it just skipped over him.
Dude.
And I don't know why that is.
No, I think he got worse, bro. He was like putting up like over a point per game before the scoring boom. And
I
then,
mean, other than this year, he still really has been.
yeah, but then Jamie Benn is the biggest epitome of that. Like, dude, he
Yeah.
won the Art Ross before the scoring boom and a Hart Trophy, I believe. And then all of a sudden, he comes out after the scoring boom and puts up 39 points in 69 games played this season. And he got like a huge contract, like $10 million a year contract.
Right. I don't really think that was worth it, obviously. To me, I think the problem, and this is just speculation on my part, Tyler Seguin, I know he is a partier. So I don't know if that has anything to do with his decline after the scoring boom. Actually, yeah, you know what, Marshall, I'll use that word too. He probably got worse after the scoring boom. And for Jamie Benn, I mean, he scored 87 points or 82 points, whatever it was when he won that championship. So I think we all knew that he was not the best scorer in the league when that happened.
Yeah, dude, but he did it a couple years in a row, and it's just for some reason he fell way back, like face first onto his face.
Right. Yeah,
on
he's
the planet.
Part of it is, I don't know, like, he's a bigger player and, like, more physical-ish. And when those guys, he hit 30, but, like, I don't know, it feels a little young for this steep a drop-off.
Yeah, dude, he had a fat drop off. But then the reason that this team is so interesting is because they are still one of the, like 4 play-in like seeding teams out west, with their highest score, which is Tyler Seguin, only having 50 points. They rely so heavily on a defensive style of game. We've seen it being Avs fans, how that the Avs like fell into the trap a lot of times this season.
It's
They have a
frustrating to play them.
really,
Yeah.
it's so frustrating to play them, and they have super solid goaltending.
I mean, I feel like it's almost by design.
Oh,
I mean, like, you'll watch
definitely is.
Sagan. I still feel like he could be. I feel like you might put him on a different team. He might just play out of his mind. You know, I think he definitely.
Yeah, the Stars definitely play defensively.
Right. I mean, I think that might just impact their numbers in general, but.
Yeah, still though, like particularly with Jamie Benn, like the extent that it does is weird.
Yeah.
But let's also talk a little bit about a couple of the off-season additions. One went well, the other not so much, with Joe Pavelski and Corey Perry.
When
It was kind of
they
expected
got
for
Corey
Corey
Perry,
Perry, though.
yeah, exactly. When they got
Yeah.
Corey Perry, they
Well,
weren't
I mean,
expecting.
it was expected by everyone but the Stars.
Right,
Yeah.
they weren't
'Cause the Stars
expecting
still signed
Corey
him.
Perry.
And everyone else was like, hey, what are you doing there?
They were
Yeah.
he's a role player at this point, and they knew that when they
Yeah.
picked him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pavelski's been quite a bit better.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah that's a
Pavelski's
big
still,
add to
like-
their lineup for sure.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about this team, though, is their defense. I think Heiskanen is going to be in that contention with like
Klingberg.
Makar and like
Hughes and Dahlin and
yeah, all
Oh, I
these
see what
like
you're
young
saying, yeah.
defensemen that are going to be competing for Norris's for years to come. He skates like he's just absolutely like gliding out there. He's still only 20 years old, and he was our third leading scorer this year. He's one of the most exciting young defensemen in the league. They still also have like Klingberg and like Lindell, just a bunch of really solid pieces on the defense. And then just like going to their goalies too, like they have probably for my money the top like 1-2 punch in terms of like goaltenders in the NHL.
I keep losing my audio, and I have no idea why. So I missed most of that, but I heard we're talking about goaltenders now, and yeah, Ben Bishop is, like, I mean, one of the best in the business, honestly. Like, this is a guy that hasn't really had a Vezina year, but like has had multiple Vezina caliber years where he's been close. He is a guy that could win one, and he's been good in the playoffs. I think he could be real good this year, and he's the kind of goalie that could steal a series.
Dude, he almost did steal a series last year against against St. Louis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then and Kudobin too. Like,
Kudobin's a solid backup.
A very, very solid backup. Like, it's almost their goaltending situation is one of the best in the NHL. Their defense is
I'd
very
argue
deep.
it might be the best in the NHL.
Their defense is very, very deep. And so yeah, they do play a very defensive style of game. And they are like relatively deep up front, although they, like Sagan and Ben used to be like that high caliber, like superstars, and they're not really like that anymore. Whether or not you guys have touched on it is because of like the system that they're in. Could be like a reason for that, but still, like the line of Sagan, Ben, and Radulov is very exciting and fun line to watch.
Yeah, I think a couple emerging players that I feel like had some breakout years this year: Denis Gurianov and Rupe Hintz.
Yeah, Rupe Hintz.
Both of whom look real good, like in the top 6 for Dallas.
Yep.
I do want to say though, like, we talked about Edmonton a couple weeks ago, and we talked about how bad their bottom 6 is. Dallas's is not much better. This falls off quick.
It falls off.
You got
quick, but
not a lot.
I think there's something to be said about just being able to defend. Even like, I don't know, I haven't looked that deeply into it, but obviously, if they're able to hold most of their opponents defensively, they must have some sort of two-way play. There has to be like, there's some sort of system where it's working for them. Whether that's you have a really stacked defense, which obviously I think they definitely don't have the best defense, but still up there.
One of the best,
right?
Yeah, this is a very interesting team, dude. They started out really slow this season too.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were gonna face plant, but obviously they definitely picked up some steam there.
Yeah, they're one of the teams they're one of the teams that I'm like most scared about the Avs playing, to be honest, just because they're polar opposites from the Avs, and we've seen it in the regular season. The Avs did not play well against Dallas at all. They just kind of have teams fall into their trap and win these 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 type of games, like, consistently.
See, but you put playoff McKinnon against them. I feel like McKinnon will.
That's why it gives me a little bit more comfort, but.
Right. No, I definitely see what you're saying though.
They've also got Radulov in there as another kind of high-end offensive guy. I feel like they've got, like, their top 6 is built with, like, you're not looking at a ton of superstars other than maybe Sagan, but you're really, really solid throughout your entire top 6, you know? Like, I feel like they've got 6 guys who could be on a first line somewhere.
No, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I think that's when. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Karim.
I was going to say, when going back to that Edmonton comparison, I think just the fact that Edmonton's D is so shaky, and when you get down to it, you look at their bottom 6 forwards, and there's no one there. I think Dallas does not struggle as much as Edmonton does. I think they're just they're solid in at least defense, so that even if you have scrubs playing on your fourth line, you're gonna be okay still. And I think obviously they've shown that throughout the year.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I called Edmonton a contender, and I think Dallas is slightly better. So getting into our verdicts here, I'm also going to call Dallas a contender. I think that they can make a little bit of noise. I think they're going to have trouble if they run into a Vegas or a Colorado out west, and I think if there's quite a few teams out east if they did manage to make it to a cup they'd struggle with. But I think that they have the ability to make some noise. They've got some veteran leadership. They've got some guys who've been there and done it before. And they've got the goaltending, which is key. They've got, like I said, I think maybe the best goaltending situation in the NHL. So I definitely think they could make a run. I am calling them a contender. What do you guys think? Let's start with you, Zach.
Yeah, I'm going contender as well. A guy that we didn't touch on that could be an X factor in a series or the play-in games. Alexander Radulov. He definitely is a player that has some speed, some skill. We've seen him score 4 goals in a game before, multiple occasions. This guy, he can put the puck in the net, and the Stars definitely need him to do that if they're going to make a run. So, but I have to go contender for sure.
Yeah, I'm going contender. Defense wins championships a lot, and if they can stick with the system that was proven to be successful for them in the regular season and carry it over into this return to play format, then this is a pretty scary team to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Karim?
Yeah, I agree. I think they've been a contender for a while. I think you still have the same core that they relied on for the past couple of years. They were this close last year. I think they could still definitely, obviously, like Marshall was saying, you look at the matchups. I think that'll be the biggest thing, but they definitely can go all the way.
Yep.
Yeah, we're talking about a good team here for sure. I guess both our teams today have been contenders, which for good reason. We talked about some really solid teams today. Any closing thoughts you guys have before we kind of get out of this episode?
Not from me.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to go.
All right, boys. A couple more weeks of this, and we'll finally actually be watching these guys instead of just talking about them. So I'm really excited. Thank you to all our listeners and viewers wherever you're watching or listening to this, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Support us on Patreon if you'd like at patreon.com/off_brand. Check out the rest of the Off Brand Network, and we will see you in our next episode.